good friend of mine's daughter was died yesterday.
In a fourth grade classroom in Uvalde, Texas, another mass shooting left 19 children and 2 teachers dead. More people have died in mass killings in schools in the past 5 years than in the prior 12 years combined, and it happens again and again.
There are evidence-based policies and programs that can help intervene and prevent violence. So things like extreme risk protection orders or red flag laws, laws that allow people to petition the court to temporarily separate someone from their firearms during a time of crisis.
We have glaring loopholes in that law that allow people to buy weapons at gun shows or online without any kind of checks. And if we had a comprehensive check, we could keep guns out of the hands of folks who may kill themselves or kill others.
Just days after the shooting in Uvalde and weeks after a shooting in Buffalo, New York, the NRA held its annual meeting in Houston, Texas.
We took God out of schools. We took concern for others out of our schools, I believe.
What went through your mind? What were the
Initially, a little anger. Why were the teachers not armed? They're charged with protecting our children.
Nothing ever changes, and we've got to stop these automatic rifles with multiple rounds so our kids are at least somewhat protected. We're not here to take people's rights away from them. We're just here to protect our children.
Daniel Nordstrom lost 2 of his sons to guns. One son died by suicide and was suffering from depression. He said his other son, Gavin, had a history of mental illness.
Both died because of guns. And Gavin, he had a mental history list a mile long. He went in and no background checks whatsoever. There's no way in a million years he should have been able to buy a gun. But this is Texas, and anybody with money can buy a gun here. So these people are a bunch of sellouts. Donald Trump was bought and paid for by the NRA. And here you go, America. You get what you asked for.
With 121 guns for every 100 residents in the U.S., there's concern whether tighter gun legislation can pass.
It is a position that is shared by well over 80% of the American people. There are not 60 votes in the Senate to move that. And I just hope folks look at this issue as one that they need to vote on.
There are weaknesses in the background check system in terms of record reporting and completeness. And there's the default proceed loophole, which allows somebody to buy a firearm. Most of the research that I have done has focused on a system called permit to purchase or firearm purchaser licensing. This is not a substitute for, this is a complement to our existing background check laws that require individuals to apply for and obtain a license before buying a gun.
Krafasi says that this complement to the background check system works kind of like getting a license at the DMV, where your identity and background check are run beforehand. Right now, this verification process is happening in 9 states and only for handgun sales.
These policies, these laws that require people to get a license before they buy a firearm, have been associated with reductions in firearm homicide, including mass shooting, firearm suicide, diversions of guns for use in crime, shootings of law enforcement, and our new research actually finds reductions in shootings by police as well. So this is a policy that's really beneficial for public safety.
I'm a gun owner and believe in the Second Amendment rights, and certainly those are very important. I enjoy shooting sports. I enjoy hunting. I also strongly believe we need to have gun safety laws, and we need things such as background checks to keep the guns out of the hands of people who we know will do something potentially tragic.
I think a lot of the focus has been on the rights of gun ownership. What do gun owners have the right to do or not to do? And many of us have forgotten that with that right comes an immense responsibility. The idea that we need guns everywhere in all spaces at all times has proven false. If guns made people safer in general, we would be the safest place in the world because we have more guns than people and more guns than pretty much every other place in the world. But that's not the case. We are the place that continues to experience exceptionally high rates of gun homicide, gun suicide, and mass shootings Other countries see a mass shooting of school-aged children and they say never again, and they actually mean it. We haven't meant it yet, but I'm really hoping that this time around something will change.